Our chief Washington correspondent, host of This Week, George Stephanopoulos. George, as you heard from Jake, civil war on three fronts on health care for the White House by 47 to 43. New poll shows more Americans oppose the president's plan right now. What are they saying this morning at the White House?
They are saying, Diane, White House officials recognize that the president's original strategy has failed and they have to start fresh in a number of ways. The president became convinced just before the recess in a final meeting with Senator Charles Grassley, the top Republican negotiator, that his original strategy of trying to get a bipartisan deal out of the Senate just wasn't going to work, and that they're going to have to find a way to do this almost solely with Democratic votes. And so they're working on that right now. They have a core strategy group trying to figure out what kind of bill can get 218 votes in the House, 50 votes in the Senate. They want to build on that, build that majority over the recess, but also bolster the president's approval ratings, especially on the economy. They know that's key. And then in another important part of this, Diane, I think you'll see more of this out of the White House in coming days and weeks, blame the Republicans if health care doesn't go through and make them the enemy here.
So it's official. They've declared the former strategy a failure.
Well, they don't want to do it officially because even though they know it privately, because the bipartisan group is still planning another conference call for tomorrow night, saying they're going to keep trying through the recess, but they recognize it's unlikely to happen. And the focus of their energy behind the scenes is trying to figure out a way to get Democrats together on a single approach. It's very difficult to do. In public, they also realize they have to start fresh as well. The big emphasis is going to be on a single word, Diane, that is security. That means for people who have health insurance, you're not going to lose it. For people who are on Medicare, you're not going to lose the coverage you have right now. They know that has to be the most important message to people out there right now.
Can't let you go, George, without asking about former President Clinton's meeting at the White House yesterday. Two things. Secretary of State Clinton was not at the meeting. It was a debrief on North Korea, allegedly. And did health care also come up?
You know, administration officials are being very tight-lipped about this meeting between President Clinton and President Obama. They say the reason the Secretary of State Clinton wasn't at that meeting, she had a scheduling conflict, a meeting with the Colombian foreign minister. I can say, though, Diane, that White House officials have talked privately about whether to use the Clintons more on health care. You saw President Clinton go out and speak to the left, progressives, in that Netroots convention last week, where he warned them of the consequences of failure. There have also been discussions about whether to deploy Secretary of State Clinton. No final decision on that yet.
Okay, George, our thanks to you as always.